Hello and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with Ralf Friedrichs. This is the second take today. The video that I had done, or the episode before, kind of vanished mysteriously, but it was based on what happens when you stop drinking and how long is normal for things to start changing in your life. And the reason I wanted to do this episode was because I went to the doctor yesterday for my annual physical. And what happened there was pretty interesting because the doctor was amazed on the 2 years that I've been sober, the drastic changes that I have overcome physically and, well, pretty much physically. In other words, my blood pressure, my sugar level, everything has changed 360 degrees for the better. Not that I really had major issues 2 years ago prior to sobriety, but the overwhelming evidence is clearly here that when you do quit drinking, major changes will happen. So I want to just talk about that today. And again, this is my second time around for today, so bear with me. First, I want to give a shout out to Larry Geis at 516-485-2741. That's Larry Geis. I hope I'm pronouncing his name properly. He's a good friend of mine. For some reason, I kept pronouncing it Geese, so hopefully Geis is the proper pronunciation. He is an addiction recovery coach. He is a life coach with over 30 years experience. I look up to him because there's so much I could learn from a gentleman like him, and there's so much he can do to help you take your life back. So call him at 516-485-2741. That's Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on the website, on the internet. All you have to do is put in Larry Geis. That's G-I-S-E at the Geis Academy. That's G-I-S-E Academy. And look him up and tell him when you speak to him that you saw and heard about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show. Shout out to globaleyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. Let me just make sure it's recording. It is. Yay. Hopefully it'll be there when I'm done. globaleyeglasses.com has eyeglasses as low as $6 all the way up to $69. And here is the great thing, folks. Over about 100 or so my audience members have called me in reference to glasses, and I have been able to help them fit the lenses that they need, fit the frames that they need, and get the proper things going at a fractional cost compared to a brick-and-mortar freestanding store. It's about 80% less, and the quality is just as good. So reach out to globaleyeglasses.com. You can give me a text at 631-599-0218, and let me help you get the glasses you need. I will help you get the transitions that you need, get you the photochromatics, get you the progressives, the flat top line bifocals, the thinner lenses, the anti-reflecting coating lenses, all available at globaleyeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money, and I am focused on helping you with your eyeglasses as well as with your addiction. What happens when you stop drinking? Long to normal. This is a bit of a tricky question I'm going to ask. Partially the answer depends on how long you've been drinking and how much you typically drank. Assuming you were a bit hard drinker, though, I'll be honest with you, it takes a good year to feel really straight and normal again if you were a really hard drinker. Excuse me. Don't think that once you do, you can start drinking again. Even after a year, please don't fall into that thing where you're going to start drinking again, because it never will be the same again. Because if you do, and trust me, you'll go find out for yourself. If you don't believe me, you'll be right back to the old self in about a week. That's all I'm going to give you, about a week, and you'll be back to the way you were. All that hard work now becomes nothing. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, and it takes a year to be back to normal again. But it does take about that. But consider the fact that most hard drinkers have already been drinking many years, like myself, for 30 years, changing as it were, the chemistry of their brains, of your brains, the very brains that try to develop under the stress of booze and drugs combined, possibly, and the large aspects of our personality have been coated, if you will, through the filter of drugs and alcohol, so much so that normal ceases to exist in the sober contents. Which is why I think, at least, that it takes a year to sort things out in your brain and actually start feeling better the way it used to be. Now, mind you, If you were not a hard drinker, things can change less than a year. Yes, it takes about a year if you are a hard drinker. By the way, I've been sober for approximately 2 years, coming close to 2 years. And maybe therapy is, for some of you folks out there, it might work for you. I, with the grace of God, was able to do it without therapy. I, with the grace of God, didn't even have to really go to AA other than 3-4 meetings. And I decided to dive into sobriety 24/7. Many drinkers have to really get used to the idea that they are not the center of all existence, and that their needs, however pressing it was previously, have actually been quite banal, animistic, and immature. Anyway, for about the first 2 months, you will be exhausted after starting with sobriety. Don't fight it. Just find a place of comfort to exist from within the sea of exhaustion. Slowly it will fade. Try to do things slowly in small increments, 24 hours at a time if you can. I can't stress that enough. The good things in life, like learning a language, cannot simply be accomplished in a day or two. So take a deep breath, take a walk, make a cup of coffee, make a cup of tea, watch your habits. You will have anxiety upticks, of which smoking and coffee and sugar might accelerate a possible relapse, accelerate a trigger, or it might become another habit that you don't want to have. Try to cut down on those three, the cigarettes, the caffeine, and the sugar. Try to cut down, and if you can, eliminate them from your life. Bottom line is you can learn to manage anxiety without crutches. Utilize people like Larry Geis and myself as the crutch. Don't utilize caffeine, sugar, or tobacco. But the transition to sober will produce discomfort in the short and medium term. About 6 months in, you'll start to feel better. You won't be completely better, but you'll start to feel better. A lot better. If you weren't a hard drinker, this might even happen within a month or two. Anyway, good luck to everyone out in my audience. I certainly don't have all the answers, and I've learned that my intuition isn't always my best friend. I was an alcoholic for 30 years before I finally realized that alcohol was taking more from me than it was given back to me. I quit drinking 2 years ago at the age of 51 and have never felt happier, more confident, or as in control of my own destiny than I do now sober. Here are just a few reasons why life is better when it's alcohol-free. I have 7 reasons. Reason number 1 is your health gets better. Becoming a non-drinker reduces your chances of developing plethora of alcohol-related illnesses, from various cancers to liver and heart disease. Number 2, your looks improve. Alcohol is responsible for puffiness in the face, sunken eyes, premature aging of the skin, and a dull complexion. Becoming a non-drinker will result in healthier-looking skin and brighter eyes. Number 3, it's easy to maintain the weight you want when you don't drink. 1 bottle of wine has as many as 700 calories, more than a Big Mac. Plus, when you give up wine, you're more likely to exercise if your weekends aren't taken over by those hangovers. Number 4, you have more time to get stuff done. If you are regularly crack open a bottle of wine after dinner and have a few glasses during the course of the evening, you'll be down approximately 30 hours per week on time to get stuff done. That's time to organize the kids for school the next day, time to blast the housework or read, spend some time to read or develop a hobby or a skill. A boozy lifestyle equals non-productive evenings. Number 5, you have more patience. I, for one, I'm a true testament to that, because I had no patience whatsoever. Now I have a lot more patience. As someone who drank almost every night like myself, and often to excessive of 10 to 15 shots of vodka, I was less than patient as I was around my wife, my grandchildren, some of my other relatives. I had no patience whatsoever, but now I do have a second chance of showing people that I truly am a person that's willing to listen. Now that I don't have the alcohol in my life. Number 6, you'll find out who you really are. Alcohol has such a powerful effect on the body and mind that it is impossible to find out who you are when you're regularly getting drunk. It's only living alcohol-free and true self-discovery becomes possibility. By learning to know yourself better, you have a fighting chance of finding out who you want and what you want from life, as well as all that you are capable of accomplishing. Number 7 on my list is you feel good about your life. When you are permanently sober, your choices are always your own. Nobody is making those choices for you. Alcohol-free living means never waking up again crippled with the regret and shame, and that, my friends, is priceless. After breaking free from alcohol trap, I desperately wanted to help others see how much better life without constant negative cycle of drinking to excess and bad hangovers are. So, that is why I do my daily shows. That is why I have 3 separate websites. It is to bring my message, my experience into your living room, into your kitchen, to wherever you might be. Folks, this episode is based on my yearly annual physical yesterday, and how the doctor is amazed how I turned my sugar around, how I turned my weight around, how I mentally started thinking differently. And that is due to sobriety, folks. It is due to sobriety, and it is you that has the opportunity to get all this. Listen to these 7 things. Don't you want to get these 7 things? Don't you want to get your health better? If you have high blood pressure, high sugar, if you're constantly feeling down, get your health back in check. Start with sobriety. Eliminate the drugs and alcohol. Becoming non-drinking reduces your chances of developing alcohol-related illnesses. So once you start not drinking, you're cutting away at those illnesses. Nobody's guaranteed never to get an illness, folks, but why accelerate it by consuming poison down your throat, up your nose? Folks, some of us were born with this face, but I can help my looks because I can make my skin look better. I can get rid of those sunken eyes, get rid of the aging skin, get rid of the puffiness in my face by not smoking, not drinking alcohol. It's easier to maintain the weight, like the doctor told me yesterday. He was totally amazed how my weight has turned around. It's because those calories from the wine, the vodka, the beer are equal, if not more, than your average slice of pizza and your Big Macs. You have more time to get things done, because you got to remember, folks, when you start drinking and you start slowing down, and then the next morning you can't even get up because you're so hungover, you got the dry heaves. You are taking quality time away from your life as well as your children's, your grandchildren's, your husband and your wife. Why would you want to go to bed all drunk, not to be able to wake up in the morning in a reasonable way? You'll have a lot more patience, folks. You'll be able to listen to people. You'll actually enjoy listening to people. As someone who drank almost every night, often to get drunk, I was less than patient with my family, my wife, grandchildren, children. With anyone around me, I had no patience because all I really wanted was my vodka. That's all. Today, I sit here humbly telling you I love listening to people. I don't have a craving for alcohol. I never had a craving for drugs anyway. So here is me, the brand new, 2 years in, feeling it, feeling great. You'll find out who you really are. Alcohol has such a powerful effect on the body and mind that it is impossible to find out who you are and what you are about. By learning to know yourself better, you have a fighting chance of finding out what you want from life, like my passion to help you, as well as what you are capable of achieving. I would have never ever taken part 2, second episode today, during my drunken days. But because this episode this morning did not work out, I said I'm going to hopefully try again and get it to work this time. You'll feel good about your life. When you're permanently sober, your choices are always your own. Alcohol-free living means never waking up crippled with great shame, and that, my folks, is priceless. After breaking free from the alcohol trap, I desperately wanted to help others see how much better life is without the constant negative cycle of drinking until I was drunk. I was tired of having those bad hangovers and mornings filled with regrets, not knowing, not remembering what I did the night before. That is why I do my shows daily, to show you that there is a life outside of drugs and alcohol. I also set up all 3 websites for you, my folks, my friends, to utilize. Go to www.clearviews.info and see all the information that is written by doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists about drugs and alcohol, about the pluses. The minuses, I should say. There aren't any plus. The only plus about drugs and alcohol is when you actually get rid of them in your life. Go to www.takeyourlifeback today's show and see most of my episodes. Go to www.clearreform.com. That is about addiction recovery coaching, how I can help you take your life back, folks. It is this simple. Today is the day where you need to make a choice, folks. Is today your day to finally break that wall of denial around you down? An update on a friend of mine whose brother has been here on Long Island getting drunk each and every day. The good news is he has finally taken that plane ride to California to hopefully reclaim his life, to take his life back. I only hope and pray that my friend and her brother find a cure for his alcoholism. And the only cure is to break that wall of denial down, folks. And once you have that wall down, there is no shame in admitting that you have a problem. Seek the proper help. Seek people like Larry, guys. Seek people like myself. We are crutches in your recovery. Once you have broken that wall of denial down, reach to your higher power, in my case, my Lord Jesus, and ask Him to guide and direct you. Carrie Underwood sang a song many years ago called Jesus Take the Wheel, and it's based on the fact that if you let God take your life in every turn, in every direction, you will get nothing but positive results out of God taking the wheel, God navigating your life. Obviously, you, me, we as humans have no control over our lives sometimes. Sometimes addictions, sometimes other sicknesses just take over. We need to rely on our higher power, folks. Take that wall down today. And if you're one of those people that is going to say, Ralph, I will make the changes, but not today, Ralph. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Alert. There are people right now, as you're sitting in my audience and I'm sitting in front of the camera, that are somewhere in the world, that are taking their last breath, that are closing their eyes for the last time. Those people, did they have a chance for change, or were they like you, who just told me, not today, Ralph, I'll do it tomorrow? Because they didn't have a chance, possibly. And you might not either, and I might not have it tomorrow. I do already. I took my chance of change. I have changed for 2 years. It is now your time, your place, to take your life back. Reach out to me at 844-405-HELP. Reach out to Larry Geis at 516-485-2741. We are all here to help you take your life back. Folks, remember this, please. If you just promise yourself a sober 24 hours today, you already bought yourself a better tomorrow. Remember, all these changes that I talk about constantly all happen with tiny, small steps. No changes in life happen like an on and off switch. It is working at it. Small increments like I just talked about, 24 hours at a time, and changes are coming your way, folks. Let today be the day for you to make those changes, and let today be the day that you are breaking the chains of maybe your parents drank and did drugs and it went down to you. Break those chains and don't bring it to your children. Teach your children to say no to drugs and alcohol. Don't smoke in front of your children. Don't do drugs in front of your children. Don't use profanity and never physically abuse at all, more or less, in front of your children. Let today be the chance and the day of changes. Please, and if you start thinking positive, folks, I promise you positive things will happen. You will see positive results. Take each and every day slow. Make each and every day count. and make sure that you stay sober 24 hours at a time. Reach out to your higher power, in my case God, for guidance and direction. Reach out to addiction recovery coaches like Larry Geis. Reach out to addiction recovery coaches like myself. You can reach Larry Geis at 516-485-2741. Go to Geis Academy on the internet. You can reach me at 844-405-HELP. Folks, I hope to God each and every one of you has a great, sweet, sunny day today. But more importantly, I hope to God that each and every one of you has a sober day today. And may God bless you.